Hey y'all.
That's taken.
What do you mean? Plenty of people say that. Hello, internet.
Nope, not that one.
Why?
It's cringe and it's taken.
Fine. Top of the morning to you.
Stop! That's taken too, and that accent was terrible.
Okay, well, what the hell can I say? Hi. We good?
Good.
Good. Today's subject is brains, and why you should give yours to me. Now, one thing many people get wrong about brains is no, you don't need them to continue functioning like a normal human person. So if you want to sell those things you don't even need, I'm your man. So the first step to getting those nasty little things out of your brain is to... Well, they finally caught up to me. See you when my sentence is over with.
Bucket! Zombies!
Zombies? Zombies? Fellas, if you'd all just calm down, I've prepared for this exact circumstance. During last week's chocolate-covered coffee bean anxiety-fueled craze, I made a guide on how to survive the zombie apocalypse. This will tell you everything you need to know about how to survive the next... however long zombie apocalypses last for.
Plants vs. Zombies, or as my mom misheard it back in 2009 when I got it at Target, Pants vs. Some Bees.
My money's on the pants.
The first Plants vs. Zombies game revolutionized tower defense back when it came out. The tower defense genre used to be the nerdy, awkward uncle of gaming genres, but this game paved the way for masterpieces such as the funny Monkey Bloom game. This game simplified tower defense into a casual, mildly strategic experience. Anyone could pick up and play it, had a killer soundtrack, some great minigames, it was an instant classic. It was also easy to understand the concept, take out enemies using the ultimate weapon against the zombie infection.
Peas.
The company that made the game, PopCap, they were a relatively small studio, only having a tiny handful of employees. Before this game, they made a couple others that weren't too well known, the most popular of which being Bejeweled. But after PvZ made over $1 million in its first 2 weeks and kept selling and selling and selling, PopCap became well known. So well known that EA reached out to them and made a deal to buy PopCap for $750 million. That's a lot of money! So much money that they basically couldn't refuse. So PopCap was eventually merged into EA, and now that PvZ had the backing of a massive publisher, the franchise would be bigger than ever. At least, if you could wait another 4 years for PvZ 2 to come out. Yeah, about time is right. Most people hate this game, and I get why, but for the most part, I also don't get it. It's just like the first game, but more. More plants, more worlds, more mechanics, more inventive zombie types. It's just cool. The downsides, though, are pretty apparent. It's only available on mobile, which is frustrating, and the monetization was problematic too. See, in this game, they locked some plants behind paywalls, and a lot of them were the really powerful ones too. That in itself wouldn't be the absolute worst thing, but what made it really bad was that these plants cost like $3, and later on in the game's life, they upped it to $5. You know what else is $5? The whole frickin' first game! Obviously, you don't have to buy them, but it's still a pretty ugly business practice. Another point against EA. Later on in the game's life, they added this really whack, agonizingly slow leveling system that only really existed to get you to spend more money. But if you ignore all that, and you actually can, still the same core, satisfying gameplay. And it lasts for a while too. There are about a dozen worlds, and more recently the game's had some really cool mods. Stuff that gets rid of all the crappy monetization and adds some really great level design. They're a great time. The same year in 2013, there was an announcement for a new game, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. This game is a shooter? PvZ fans around the world collectively went, how do you get from this to this? The answer is actually pretty seamlessly. They took 4 of the plants from PvZ 1 and made them playable in Garden Warfare. Pea shooter, sunflower, chomper, and cactus. Though he looks more like a spiky pickle. They did have to come up with a couple new zombies to play with though. You got the foot soldier, scientist, engineer, and the familiar all-star. You'd spawn in on various maps to get kills, capture gardens, and deliver a taco to aliens. You know, usual FPS stuff. Garden Warfare also had a sticker shop. You could spend coins on these sticker packs, which gave you customizables, character upgrades, alternate abilities, things like that, all in the style of baseball cards, which is honestly pretty cool.
But the thing that made this game really stand out was the character variants.
You can get pieces for these characters in packs too. If you get 5 on a single character, you unlock it. These variants kept the same abilities for that character, but changed pretty much everything else.
The base Sunflower looks like this, has an average 100 health and a rapid fire shot.
The Mystic Flower looks like this, and has a charge shot. The Metal Petal looks like this, has below average damage and is a bit slower, but has a massive 150 health. With all these variants, you can mix and match different playstyles. If you like the Scientist's ability to heal your teammates, but not so much his short range, you could switch to the Astronaut, who has a much larger range but still able to heal your friends. There was a guarantee that you'd find a playstyle that worked for you. And if you got bored of that, guess what? You can just switch to a different dude. This game was a surprising success, both critically and commercially, so there was no surprise when the sequel was announced for February 2016.
So the key to the zombie apocalypse is vegetables.
And that can be just like any plant?
So wouldn't that extend to chocolate? Because cocoa is grown on trees. So if I threw this Hershey Kiss at a zombie, would it explode?
Interesting questions aside, we know how to defend ourselves. We gotta get geared up.
Okay, what do we have here? Cabbage, peppers, other bits and bobs, asparagus. Ooh. Let's fight with an eggplant.
Eh.
When those zombie bastards come, we'll be ready.
Garden Warfare 2 was the first game, but improved in just about every single way. New maps, new characters, plus they play Queen in the trailer, so come on, it was pretty sick. With the 6 new characters in the game, the total character count is up to 14, all with their own variants, which made the total number of characters, like, a lot. The pea shooter is your basic plant guy. Primary fire is usually a single shot splash, which paired with its hyper ability makes for the most agonizingly annoying plant to fight against. Pea shooters want to get high up to pick you off from above, unless you're playing a variant without any splash like, I don't know, Agent P. Pea shooters also have a beam bomb, and a Gatling that roots you to the ground but can laser anything in its sight. You don't want to be setting that thing up in the open though, because you might take a rocket to the face from the foot soldier. These guys have a similar playstyle to the pea shooter. With their rocket jump, they can get to places a lot of other zombies can't. They're good at zoning out areas with their smoke bomb, and their variants can range from no effort required or...
The Centurion isn't all that good.
Sunflower is your basic plant healer.
She's got a healing flower and a heal beam, so you'd usually want to stick by your teammates. Not to say she can't do damage, actually the opposite is true. Her rapid fire does crazy damage if you can hit your shots. The Scientist is the zombie healer, but you can just ignore healing altogether, because this guy is also a powerhouse. He's got these warps that let you get up close real easy. If you can get up close with this dude, the other plants are already dead. Except for the Chomper. If you go into a 1v1 as the Chomper, you're going to win. If you can get up behind a zombie, the Chomper can just swallow them whole. The goop slows zombies down, and the spikeweed stops them in their tracks. And then the burrow basically lets you be a shark on land. So if you go around picking off enemies one by one, you'll be good.
But unfortunately, lots of Chomper players struggle with self-preservation, so they just charge in all willy-nilly and take the person they find. And then they get killed in the process.
The Engineer is a lot like the pea shooter, with its main weapon having splash and all. He can cover long distances with his jackhammer, he's got a turret, and he's also got this stun that pretty much guarantees a win. He's also my least favorite. I just don't like his abilities and weapon, and not the design either. I just don't like the fact you can see this man's ass crack. Cactus is the plant sniper, comes with the garlic drone, potato mine, and King Johnny. Why is he called King Johnny? That is a very long explanation that I don't feel like explaining. The drone is actually crazy good if you know how to control it right, and I love her variants designs. They're all super rad. The All-Star is actually really good, but no one realizes it. Probably because they're too annoyed at them, because what most all-star players do when they see a plant is throw out their imp pun. Basically a bomb that can kill anything 3 feet in front of it. If that's on recharge, they go for the sprint tackle. Then they'll panic, because they've never had to actually use the primary fire before. Colonel Corn is Foot Soldier, but on plants. He's got the same rocket, and similarly to the smoke bomb, Butter Barrage is great at zoning out areas. The Husk Hop unfortunately suffers from the same symptoms as the imp pun. If a corn is in front of you, they will use this, and 9 times out of 10 insta-kill you. Great! Yay! Balanced gameplay! Captain Deadbeard is the zombie sniper. He also comes with a drone, but this one is better just because it's a parrot. Also comes with a cannon and a barrel. What the hell is barreled power? Thing that's cool about this dude is that he's got a primary fire shotgun and then a secondary long range. So he's usable at close range, unlike the cactus. Dude is pretty much just a sick-ass pirate. Rose can turn zombies into goats. Don't ask me how she learned to do this, just roll with it.
Also has a time slower thing that halts zombies in their tracks. The Rose's shots move slowly, but if you can get close enough, they hone in, which makes her just crazy. If you get up too close to a zombie, you've got your Arcane Enigma to get you out safely. Super Brains is so fun to play. He attacks with his fists, so you gotta get up real close, but that's no issue with his kicking ability that can catapult you across the map. Don't use Turbo Twister, it was broken when the game first came out, but you are forfeiting if you use it now. Zombie Superman also has a Kamehameha style big ball of death. Citron can go all Transformer and change into a ball, which lets him move faster. His ball form works well with his weapon, which works best at close range. He's got a stun just like the Engineer, and also a shield, but don't use that to block soldier rockets or superhero Kamehamehas because it will just go right through. And finally, the Imp. This guy only has 75 health, but that's okay because this dude is tiny. Has a pretty standard rapid fire weapon, along with his Imkata ability. Also has a gravity grenade that can stick plants in place midair. This final ability allows you to teleport in this gargantuan mech that can obliterate pretty much anything in its path. The abilities in primary fire for the mechs are different depending on which variant you're playing, but all are equally good. Just don't step in front of a P-Gatling because it will drain your health in seconds. Garden Warfare 1 already had so many options, and this game nearly doubled it. That's why this game is so endlessly replayable. It's why it never gets stale. The amount of options you have is just stupid.
You two, go look for supplies in there.
Got it?
Oh, sick, dude. I haven't seen a VHS in ages.
Tests. Do you want to watch it?
Yeah, we probably have time before we die, so.
Okay. This thing on. I managed to capture an early specimen for experimentation. I have it in an enclosed area behind me. Going to run some tests and see what I can find out about it. Zombies seem to have some kind of aversion to plants. Could be a useful counter. I'm gonna take this chance while the zombie is asleep to run some very sophisticated, elaborate tests. It's gonna be so mad when it wakes up. Oh. Oh. Oh! It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I know from my research I still have days before my mind starts to go totally kerplunk. I am good. Besides, being a zombie is a mindset. I don't have to fall into that mindset. I am good, I am just good. This has been very productive. I'm gonna go cower in my room. You're a zombie? No. I am not a zombie. I'm not a zombie. I sure do not think about brains. I sure don't think about eating them. But now that I think about it, brains would probably taste really good, right? Like, Eve, come on. You probably wouldn't mind if I ate your brain, right? No? Perfect. Let's dig in.
Hold it! Time up.
Guys, what do we do about that?
Well, the internet says we could feed him formaldehyde and cinnamon.
Will that even work? If plants hurt zombies, then what will the opposite do?
We could try giving him chocolate.
We're not gonna feed him chocolate.
Why not?
Because you said that might kill him? Wait, guys, I got it.
Unlike the first game with its menus, this game had a fully playable hub area, the Backyard Battleground. The backyard doubles as a menu and its own little adventure map. It's got loads of secrets sitting around just about everywhere. Secret passages, quests, puzzles. In the center there's even this endless mode where waves of enemies increase until only bosses spawn. In the center of the plant and zombie base, there's a room full of stats for each one of your characters. Playtime, total kills, assists. I wish more games had stuff like this. It's really interesting to see all this. Around the backyard and the multiplayer maps, you can collect these 54 golden gnomes. If you collect them all, this massive door beneath the sewers opens up. Behind that, there's a room with a secret switch that opens another secret door.
Behind that, wouldn't you guess, it's another secret door.
Behind that door, you get this.
Oh, that was worth it, huh?
There was a single-player campaign, but it was half-baked. There wasn't much of a story, it was just these guys telling you to go on these missions that range from piloting a corncob airship to go brush the shark's teeth. Throughout the game's life, there were a handful of updates that brought new maps, new variants, other stuff like that. The biggest and best of these updates was the Trials of Gnomes. This update was basically the shit. The Trials of Gnomes added this multiplayer portal in the town hall with mystery game modes that would change every now and then. The real big thing though was this giant single-player add-on. Behind a series of increasingly complicated puzzles and challenges hides a reward at the end of it all. How do you get this reward? Well, you have to get 50 rainbow stars from winning matches in the mystery portal. You gotta open this chest with them, open the pack that was in the chest, then you're given this key which can open a challenge gate. Then you gotta complete the challenge. They can range from piss easy to how the hell is this even possible? At the end of the challenge, you find this code which you can put in another room that spawns this giant gnome you gotta break. Once you do that, this other portal opens that has part of another code. Then you gotta do all that 3 more times. Once you finished all of that, you gotta piece together the full code from all the other portals and fight the Gnome King. If you can somehow do all that, this final portal opens up with 2 treasure chests. After all that, what do you get? And can it top the sexy singing gnome? What the fuck did I just say? You get 2 new characters. Not new variants, but new characters. The Torchwood and the Hovergoat. The Torchwood is big. Too big. A whopping 275 health. He's also very good. One of his abilities turns his primary fire, which is already an overheat rapid-fire shot, like the All-Star, and makes him do fire damage with unlimited ammo. And sure, let's just make him go faster for shits and giggles. His leaf shield halves all damage done to him. Sure, he moves a bit slower, but that's insane. And a flamethrower that can basically insta-kill anything right in front of it. So he's basically the All-Star, but a lot better. The Hovergoat is more of a support. It's got this beam that can hook up to other zombies and makes them do a lot more damage. Also the speed buff that affects everyone right next to it. He's got a weapon that's pretty identical to how the Foot Soldiers works. Last ability is a walking Gatling. It can shred just as well as any other turret. Plus, because this Chad is already a goat, Rosa's Goatify doesn't affect him whatsoever. Getting these guys is a convoluted mess and a half, but that's also kind of what's so great about it. It takes some serious work to get them, and it's worth it. Sadly, they don't come with any variants, but the surprise of new characters is good enough. These guys are great. Garden Warfare 2 didn't add any new multiplayer modes. In fact, it actually just took away one from the first. But no one played it, so who cares? Team Vanquish is your basic first to this number of kills wins mode, so I'll use this time to talk about the maps instead. Zen Peak is nice and serene. Boney Island is fine if you don't fall in the lava. Lunar Landing, Rose is disgusting on this map. Frosty Creek, any map with giant beavers is a good map. Coliseum, Rose is disgusting on this map. Aqua Center is the best one, don't at me. Sandy Sands, this sandstorm can go screw off. Frontline Flats, Rose is disgusting on this map. Z-Tech Factory, I don't have a funny thing to say about this one, it's just plain good. 10 out of 10. Time Park, if you have the middle, you're going to win. If not, then good fucking luck. There's also Vanquish Confirmed, where you gotta go collect the souls of those fallen enemies to get points. Suburbanation has you take control of 3 points across the map, and Gnome Bomb has you carry this explosive gnome to eradicate either gardens or graveyards. But the main event when it comes to multiplayer modes is Turf Takeover. An attacking team captures these points on maps that are about 6 times bigger than the usual ones. Ranking number 2, here we go. Seeds of Time is fantastic. All of these different time periods are merged together into this giant amusement park, my favorite map in the game. Zomburbia, it's zombie college. They have frat houses, board games, clubs, and parties. It's also fantastic. Great White North. Pirates and Cacti are disgusting on this map just because it's so damn open. Moonbase Z. It's okay. Walnut Hills. Classic map from the first game, but you can only use the characters from the first game in it for some reason. Still a 10 out of 10 though. Zombopolis. Any map with giant squid is a good map. Ooh, a giant zombot too. Turf Takeover is by far the most popular. You'll barely ever get a game of Gnome Bomb, but you can bet your superpowered time-traveling RV you'll get a game of this. Luckily, there's also a mixed mode that cycles through all of these modes that you can actually get lobbies of. That's not all though. There's also Garden and Graveyard Ops. 10 waves of enemies spawn and try and destroy your base, with challenge waves like go run through these hoops, or go collect these chickens, or don't die. You also got these boss waves that spin a slot machine that gives you 3 random bosses to fight. What happens if you get 3 of one? You get a super boss wave you'll be lucky to survive. Garden and Graveyard Ops comes with 4 difficulty modes. Piss Easy, slightly less Piss Easy, and Hell on Earth. When you complete the whole backyard campaign, you unlock this final mode, Infinity Time. Pilot either a giant scrap dino or a futuristic robot cat as gnomes from across the multiverse hunt you down. I think the gnomes have had enough of being used as bombs for the Plants and Zombies games. Infinity Time is pretty damn cool, but it does get repetitive after a while, only having 1 map. But you kinda gotta play it a bunch of times to unlock the party variants, and you want the party variants. One thing I neglected to mention earlier was the legendary variants. Super duper incredibly rare versions of characters that have this meter. When you've killed enough to activate it, you go in this super powered mode, usually with extra speed, damage, fire rate, stuff like that. The party characters are just like the original characters, but with that legendary meter. The other legendary characters are guys you can only get in packs, and there's only a 5% chance you'll get a legendary piece. It is worth it though, as these guys are all incredibly powerful characters. Except for you, Disco Chomper. Don't bother with it. Toxic Brains is probably the best character in the game because of the sheer power of his legendary mode. He hits 3 times his normal damage, and he's got this crazy speed buff, and he takes about half damage, and he heals to 100 health when the mode activates. So if you see this dude on the battlefield in his mode, just run. There's no chance you'll survive.
Guys, it's been long enough. I'm not infected anymore. Let me out.
How can we really be sure?
Well, would the real bucket like this delicious, juicy brain, or this cup of chocolate milk?
Yep, he's cured.
Okay, now that we've gotten that cleared up, we need to make some more preparations. Let's get to it.
What are we supposed to be looking for?
I don't know, like what are we even gonna find? I feel like looking's doing more harm than good at this point. Oh, come on, it's like the world's gonna end if I open this door. What did we do?
Everyone get behind me!
Well, shit.
No, wait! You go. I'll stay here.
Dude, you don't have to do that. Survival is right here.
No, I have to do this for your survival.
The door is right here!
Just shush. Goodbye.
No!
No! No! Plants vs. Zombies has always been a bit of an odd franchise. It's never quite been mainstream, but it's still popular enough that everyone's at least heard of it. These games have always been important to me though, and I'm glad that unlike some other childhood video games of mine, this one is still at least semi-popular. In more recent years, the PvZ franchise has kind of hit a low. The third shooter game, Battle for Neighborville, launched on the same day it was announced,
And they got rid of the character variants, just trashed the thing that made the shooter game so good in the first place. So BFN was kinda dead on arrival. And they've been hard at work on PvZ 3, they've done a couple open betas, and they have not been received well. At all. But hey, that's fine. As long as the servers are still up, we've still got both good old Garden Warfare games to play instead. And I bet you've been asking me why I talked about the second game instead of the first. Well, look at the total hours I have in the first game, and then the second.
Garden Warfare 2 will always be the pinnacle of video game comfort food. I've been playing it for years and will continue to play it for years to come. At least I would, if the zombies hadn't ravaged the landscape and busted the Wi-Fi. What do we do now?
We could play sticks.
Yeah, stick sounds good.
Hey, thanks for watching this incredibly messy video. It was a lot of fun to do all this, especially with my friends, and I hope you had just as good of a time watching it. Could I have gotten this video out a lot sooner? Without a doubt, absolutely, but it was also in the middle of being made when the new Zelda game came out, so I think I could get a bit of a pass spending my time somewhere else. If you want to see more shit like this, make sure to give me a sub. I got an Adventure Time video in the works, so if you're interested in that, stick around. See ya.